Quad Cities, TV6 cares for you. You're watching KWQC TV6 Davenport, celebrating 75 years. Live from the Quad Cities' #1 station for news. This is KWQC TV6 Quad Cities Today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for waking up with us here on Quad Cities Today.
5:59 here on your Monday morning. And Kevin, it is cold out there. There's snow on the ground. And coming up, helping the homeless. When we return, we meet this week's hometown hero. And here's a look at our local road conditions right now. You're taking a live look at I-74 at Avenue of the Cities in Illinois. And traffic out there moving smoothly. We haven't had any issues reported so far this morning.
You're watching TV6 News with Dustin Nolan and Jenna Jackson.
If humans traveled to Mars, how would we communicate with them? Well, coming up, a look at the latest technology answering that question. And right now, we are getting a look at our local traffic conditions. This is I-74 at Middle Road. You can see traffic picking up out there, but at this time, the roads look good. Of course, always be careful over on those bridges and overpasses. It's cold out there, and those tend to ice over faster.
Next on Quad Cities Today, your dream purchase is just one click away. Everything you need to know about Cyber Monday is coming up next. And here's a look at our local road conditions. You're taking a live look at I-74 bridge here. Traffic out there moving smoothly, but remember, bridges and overpasses can ice over quicker than roads, so be careful out there.
Coming up, an Illinois man was thankful for more than just turkey over the holiday weekend. Find out why when we come back. And here is a look at our local traffic conditions. This is I-74 at 35th Avenue in Illinois. Road looks good out there. You can see the snow on the side of the highway there, but everything else looks like it's moving smoothly.
You're watching TV6 News.
This has been an especially lucky Thanksgiving holiday for one man from Illinois. The search is underway for a missing Iowa man. Coming up, we see where he was last seen and how crews are coming together to find him. And here's a look at our local road conditions. You're taking a live look at I-74 at Brady Street. We haven't had any issues reported so far this morning, so if this is part of your morning commute, you're good to go.
Now, your most reliable forecast with First Alert meteorologist Kevin Phelps.
All right, it's now 6:43 on what is a very cold Monday morning. Yeah, we still have partially covered roads being reported.
All right, thanks for joining us this morning. The Today Show's up next.
You're watching KWQC TV6 Davenport, celebrating 75 years. Live from the Quad Cities' #1 station for news. This is KWQC TV6 Quad Cities Today at 11.
And we're starting off with weather after a snowy Sunday. Frigid temperatures out the door this morning. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Morgan Otier alongside meteorologist Kyle Keel. Coming up on Quad Cities Today at 11, Hamas is releasing hostages, including a 4-year-old American girl, how her family is reacting to her homecoming. Still to come in What's Trending, Merriam-Webster is unveiling its 2023 Word of the Year. But first, when we walked out the door this morning, we were met with frigid temperatures. We've got more in your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel next.
Now, your most reliable forecast with First Alert meteorologist Kyle Keel.
With that fresh snow on the ground, it certainly felt like a cold one this morning as you stepped out the door. We had temperatures that were in the mid-teens to the low 20s.
All right, stick with us because your moment of science is up next.
You're watching TV6 News.
All right, super cold out there walking out the door. That was like a slap in the face.
It really was.
TV Plus is next, followed by your news and news.
All right, coming up next, you look at your First Alert forecast. We have some clouds moving in, maybe a couple of flurries, but the big story, the cold, how long it lasts. Next in your First Alert forecast.
Next at noon, get to know our hometown hero of the week, who's an advocate for affordable housing.
You're watching TV6 News.
Every month, TV6 and Serve Pro salute a hometown hero. It's Cyber Monday. Many people will be doing their holiday shopping online today. Ways you can stay safe and scam-free next at noon.
You're watching KWQC TV6 Davenport, celebrating 75 years. Live from the Quad City's #1 station for news. This is KWQC TV6 News at Noon.
The holiday shopping season has begun. An estimated 220 million plus shoppers will buy gifts this year. Nearly half will buy them from the comfort of their own home, according to Shopify. Next at noon, have yourself a Merry Swiftmas, a unique holiday display all about Taylor Swift that's drawing a lot of attention.
Slight chance for some light rain or a wintry mix.
Thank you so much for watching the news at noon. Next news is coming up at 4.
You're watching KWQC TV6 Davenport, celebrating 75 years. Live from the Quad City's #1 station for news. This is KWQC TV6 News at 4.
Our top story today at 4, a 48-year-old man has pleaded not guilty to attempted murder charges in the shooting of 3 Palestinian college students in Burlington, Vermont. Coming up on your news at 4, the colder days and lack of sunlight can lead to seasonal depression. Some tips on how to cope with it next in our Health Minute.
You're watching TV6 News with Sharon DeReek.
Coming up, a whimsical White House winter wonderland and a holiday display that's pure tay-tay. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
Now, your most reliable forecast with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland.
Okay, time to do the Monday squint. You see where the clouds have that very prominent.
Well, up next, a new movie starring John Travolta is set to hit streaming soon. How the plot about a near-air disaster hit close to home. Next in our Hollywood Minute.
You're watching TV6 News.
Well, here we go. It's chilly season. We've got single-digit lows overnight and wind chills that could drop to below -5 farther north, above 0 farther south. But
Hard to say fast. All right, we'll see you at 5. Still ahead at 5, the truce between Israel and Hamas has been extended. How many more hostages could be released in the coming days?
And after the evening, our skies will clear. That means our temperatures, which will hold steady for the next few hours, drop through the teens and back into the single digits by morning with even colder wind chills. All the latest coming up.
You're watching TV6 News with Sharon DeReek.
Up next, Eric's going to have a look at our full first alert forecast, and it's going to be a cold one tomorrow.
Now, your most reliable forecast with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland.
Well, here we go. Some fresh snow on the ground and skies that will clear overnight.
Still to come at 5, meet this month's hometown hero who's helping fight homelessness across the Quad Cities. And congrats to her. And Eric will have a final check of our forecast when we come back.
You're watching TV6 News.
Mostly clear and cold tonight. Our low in the Quad Cities down to 8, but those wind chills will range from -5 to 5 above from north to south. Despite the fact that we got anywhere from 1 to 3+ inches of snow, I look at it this way. In less than a month, we start getting back daylight.
All right, see? Glass half full. I like
right.
it. Nightly is next.
All right, coming up at 6, filing day in Illinois, a preview of some of the candidates who you'll see on the ballot next year.
And last night around midnight, we had our highs for the day, mid and upper 20s to around 30. Of course, temperatures were falling much of the day, and those wind chills were staying pretty low. We do see a warm-up. We'll start melting some snow. We'll let you know when that arrives coming up.
You're watching watching TV6 News with Redrick Terry and Morgan Otier.
After a snowy Sunday, we're dealing with a frigid Monday evening. So what can we expect for the rest of the week? Eric Maitland has the answer next. Coming up next at 6, small town policing, how one Iowa community is combating major problems when it comes to hiring and retaining officers.
All right, we'll take a break, come back for the last look at our forecast with Eric next.
Thank you so much for watching at 6.
Our hellos tonight come from students at Amboy High School. We'll see you at 10.
This is not a computer issue. I'm a human. I'm having human issues.
A lawsuit accuses a major insurance company of using a computer algorithm to quickly deny claims without proper medical review. Next at 10, our national investigative team has details of that lawsuit.
And it looks like overnight with the clear skies and that fresh snowpack, we'll be heading to the single digits, undercutting those computer numbers that don't really consider that snow much. But we're back to the mid-20s in the afternoon. We'll bring on the melting Wednesday, your 7-day forecast coming up.
Next at 10, hearings in the nation's highest court over drug offenses, how it could have a big impact on those already incarcerated. 5 days and counting until the Hawkeyes face off for the Big Ten championship, and the team is embracing its role as underdog. We'll hear from the players next in sports.
Now, TV6 Sports with Kevin Core.
Just 5 more days until the Big Ten championship, and the question that keeps coming up is, does Iowa even have a chance in this game? That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching TV6 News.
Clear skies, light winds, and some snow on the ground. We'll take that low down to 8 tomorrow morning in the Quad Cities.
All right, thanks for joining us at 10. Next newscast comes your way tomorrow morning at 4:30. Good night.